So I'm not going to do anything to the guitars individually yet. I want to kind of go through, fix any sort of glaring problems, but I made this guitar aux, so I feel as though I definitely want some mid-range presence on the guitars, but I might be able to do an overall move. Why use 12 EQs when you can use one? Very cool. Let's see what our main chorus guitars are here. So all their guitar tones are really, really good out of the box. They're exactly what they're trying to be. I feel as though these might need a little more boost than some of the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and use, it's an emulation of a Helios channel strip. And the reason I use this one is because it has a sound to just switching the EQ circuits in. It's especially noticeable on the low frequency circuit. So when I just switch in the 60 hertz and then 120 hertz, you're going to hear an actual bump, even though technically I'm not adding anything. So there's quite a bit of power just in that spot. And 60 hertz might seem low, but there's just some resonance in that circuit. And then I'm also going to bring up a little bit of the sort of throaty mid-range. Okay, now in this case, this bridge fuzz guitar is going on top of those rhythm guitars. So the left side is pretty small. The right side actually has a bunch of low ends. So I'm going to try high passing that just a little bit. I'm using a really small sampling of plugins. And I actually do work this way. I've used the same stuff in a lot of places because if I need a surgical EQ, the EQ3, I'm done. If I need a musical EQ, usually the Scheps 73 or a Neve style EQ, I'm done. Every once in a while I'll reach for something like guitars. At the moment I'm loving this Helios, but that could change. It used to be I would always reach for 550, API 550 style EQ, and then API 560 because the 550, sometimes I didn't have as much control over the frequencies and bandwidth as I wanted. But at the moment the Helios, but it's actually not a bad thing. I mean, you see my plugin list is kind of insane. I've got quite a few EQs that I could use, but when I don't know what to do, I'll go hunting. When I do, it's much easier just to go to a tool that you know will work. So I'm going to just try high passing this and see what happens. Okay, then we've got last chorus guitars, which presumably take over for these rhythm guitars. So I want to hear that transition. Very similar tones, so I'm going to copy the plugins down. So you actually heard without the Helios plugin on the outro guitars, they sounded almost identical to what we did to the chorus guitars. So we've given the chorus guitars a little bit of a lift. The way they've built their guitar arrangement is they have the last chorus guitar being a lift from the previous chorus guitar. So now giving that the exact same kind of boosted resonance and mid-range EQ, the proportions are the same. You still get that step up, but they're both just that one step up from where they came in, which is a good thing. Now, the bass, I'm hearing that the low end's a little bit out of control here. So there are a couple ways to fix it. The easiest, though, is to go into something like I was talking about before. Pick up an EQ that's got the high-pass filter and a low-frequency boost. And then I could do it on this plugin, but I'm actually going to go to another Helios. I'm not going to add this 60 hertz bump, which usually is quite good on bass because I feel like there's more than enough low end. But a lot of the sort of tone and string noise will be down in this 700 to 1K range. So I'm going to try adding a little bit of this. Just sounds a little more present. Now I need to see what that does in the beginning of the track, where obviously the bass is much cleaner. Definitely not hurting. We'll go to the first chorus. Okay, I think that's okay. I'm going to leave that for now. And what I'm noticing is I want a bit more presence overall on the guitars. And this is why I built this guitar aux. So I know I've already added these Helios EQs across 4 of the guitars, and we've done a little high pass. But now what I'm going to do is to put yet another Helios, just because I like the mid-range on it right now, across all of the guitars and pick up some presence from everything. And we'll see how that goes. Now, if that ends up being too much on the chorus guitars, I can always dial it back on the individuals.